Today let's hook the Wizard of Oz blanket pattern together. 6 long needles for long needles and 1 needle. Fabric of lock needle and long needle combination. First, take the thread. We aim our left hand first at our big face. Then pick up our braided thread as seam in the little and ring fingers through front and back. Walk around the pinky finger from back to front. Then pull up through the seam between the middle and index fingers. Bypass the index finger from back to front. Hand it to me and pinch it between my thumb and middle finger. Then take the crochet. The hook of the crochet is aimed at our big face. Place the crochet behind the braided thread. Let's start with the hook and lock needle. Start by making a circle of crochet from bottom to top. Then the crochet is pulled forward from behind the crochet thread. At this time, there is a quill on the crochet. We use thumb and middle finger pinch where the quills are crossed. Crochet from back to front. Hook the quill on the crochet with thread. Just hook the first lock needle. Then crochet with thread. Hook the quill on the crochet. Just hook the second lock pin. We continue crocheting in the same way. 25 locking pins. Just hook a total of 27 lock needles. After the 27 lock pins are hooked, we turn the outside edge of the lock needle into the needle. Crochet first row. First of all, we hook a seamless upright needle. Hook a lock pin first. Enter on the 27th lock needle. Needle crochet with thread. There are 2 quills on the crochet. Crochet with thread. Simultaneously hook the 2 quills on the crochet. Hook a short needle first. Then, crochet through the front coil of the stitch. Crochet with thread hooked out. There are 2 coils on the crochet. Then crochet with thread to hook out. We hook the upright needle for the first long needle. Then the needle rises again. The top little braid needle picks up to threads. Hang a mark buckle, and then we do the first line. Pick up an edge above the lock pin. Start crocheting with a long needle. The first line hooks 5 long needles. Crochet with thread. Insert the needle and adjust an edge above the lock needle. The hook has 3 quills on the hook. Then crochet with thread. Hook out the first 2 quills of crochet. Then, crochet with line, hook out the back 2 quills on the crochet. We hook the first long needle. Then use the same method. They crochet on subsequent stitches. For long needles. Five long needles are done, and then we skip the 2 locking needles. Hook a long needle on the 3rd lock needle. Crochet with thread again. This time, we can see that there are 3 quills in the crochet, and then we insert the 3rd locking pin. The crochet has 4 quills on the hook. Crochet with line, hook out the first 2 quills on the crochet. Crochet with line, hook out the back 2 quills on the crochet. Crochet with thread, hook out the last 2 quills of the crochet. It's a long needle. And then we hook 3 locking pins. After hooking the 3 lock pins, inside this big hole formed by the long needle, hook a 4 needle long needle and 1 needle. Crochet with thread. Insert crochet with thread hook out. Crochet with thread to hook the first 2 quills on the crochet. Then crochet with thread into the needle. Crochet with thread hook out. Crochet with line, hook out the first 2 quills on the crochet. Hook to long needles, unfinished needles. Then crochet with thread into the needle. Crochet with thread hook out. Crochet with line, hook out the first 2 quills on the crochet. Then crochet with thread into the needle. Crochet with thread hook out. Crochet with line, hook the first 2 quills on the crochet. We can see that there are a total of 4 long unfinished needles and 1 3-pin lock needle, and then we crochet the tape. Remove all the coils on the crochet at once. Then take 1 locking pins, and then we skip to locking pins. Start with the 3rd lock pin, crochet 5 long needles in sequence. And then we skip the 2 locking pins. Hook a long needle on the 3rd lock needle. Crochet with thread again. Insert the needle on the 3rd locking pin. The crochet has 4 quills on the hook. Then crochet the first 2 quills with line. Crochet belt line hook out after 2 quills. Then the crochet tape hooks out the last 2 quills. Then hook 3 lock pins. Then in this hole in the long needle, hook a 4 needle long needle and 1 needle. Crochet needle with thread. Hook out. Crochet with line, hook out the first 2 quills on the crochet. Then crochet with thread into the needle. Hook out. Crochet with line, hook out the first 2 quills on the crochet. Crochet needle with thread. Crochet with thread, hook out. Hook out the first 2 quills of crochet. Crochet needle with thread. Crochet with thread, hook out. Crochet with line, hook out the first 2 quills on the crochet. Then crochet with thread after all the quills on the crochet are hooked out. Hook a lock pin, then skip the 2 locking pins. We can hook 6 long needles in turn. We take the first line, then flip the branchlet from right to left. We take the second line. The second line first hooks a seamless standing needle. We lengthen the coil. Crochet around the needle. Metabolic hook has 3 coils on the crochet. Crochet metabolism hooks out the first 2 coils. Crochet with thread, hook out the last 2 coils. Pick up 2 threads on the top braid needle. Make a mark buckle, then reverse the needle on the long needle in the first row. Hook 5 long needles in turn. Crochet with thread into the needle at the left side of the needle mesh. Pick up both sides of the braid, then crochet with thread to hook out. Crochet with wire to hook out the first 2 coils. Crochet belt line, hook out after 2 coils. Hook the first long needle, then crochet with thread. Insertion, hook second long needle. After 5 long needles are hooked, hook to lock pins. Then insert the needle at the position of the 3 locking pins. Hook a short needle. Needle insertion. There are 2 quills on the hook. Then hook out the 2 quills on the crochet. We just take a short needle, then hook to more lock pins. Then pick the needle from the previous row. Hook 5 long needles in turn. After the 5 long needles are hooked, then hook to lock pins. Then insert the needle at the position of the 3 locking pins. Hook a short needle. Then hook to more lock pins. Then pick the needle on the previous line. Hook 6 long needles in turn. The second line is ticked. Flip the branching from right to left, and then we tick the 3rd line. First of all, hook a long needle with a seamless upright needle. Crochet up and pick up the coil. Circle like a needle. Crochet with thread, hook out. Crochet with wire to hook out the first 2 coils. Crochet belt line, hook out after 2 coils. On the top pin of the standing pin, hang the mark buckle, skip to stitches, hook a long needle on the 3rd lock needle. Crochet with thread again. There are 3 calls on the crochet. Then insert the needle at the 3rd lock. Crochet with thread, hook out. There are 4 coils on the crochet. Then crochet with line, hook out the first 2 coils on the crochet. Crochet with line, hook out the back 2 coils on the crochet. Crochet with string to hook out the last 2 coils on the crochet. Then hook 3 lock pins. And then insert a needle into this hole of the long needle. Hook a 4-pin length, needle and needle. Crochet needle with thread. Crochet needle with thread. Crochet needle with thread. Crochet needle with thread. Four long needles are hooked. There are 5 calls on the crochet after the unfinished stitch. Then the crochet belt line is pulled in sequence. Hook out the 5 calls on the crochet. Crochet with thread, hook a lock pin, then skip the 2 locking pins. Keep picking the needle, hook 5 long needles. Crochet with thread, needle insertion. 1. After 5 long needles are hooked, repeat the previous crochet method. Skip to long needles. Hook a long needle. Hook 3 lock pins. Hook a 4-pin long needle and 1 needle. Hook a lock pin, then skip to stitches. Continue to hook 5 long needles. After hooking 5 long needles, skip to stitches. Let's hook another long needle. Hook 3 lock pins. Hook a 4-pin long needle and 1 needle. Hook a lock pin, then skip to stitches. Insert the needle at the position of the marked buckle. Hook a long needle. Line 3, we've ticked it.